I was just tidying up my old video archive and I discovered that I'd filmed this a little while back and not put it on YouTube, so I thought I would. This is an experiment as I've not made one before, so this is just a piece of oak that I'm going to try and turn a very rough top out of first. I'm never too sure really of the right way of turning a spinning top, and I wasn't really thinking too much this time, so I've done it with the base in the chuck jaws. I'm turning the shaft down to a diameter so that it will be a loose fit in a drill hole in the whipping top handle. So I've done the shape down to almost a point, and before I finish it off to the point, I've decided to put a little detail on it using a point tool. At this point I really should have actually made sure I got more scrap at the end so that I could properly turn it down to a point, but hey ho. And now onto another piece of oak to turn the handle. Right, so my trusty old DIY jig with some drill guides. These get from DIY shops. You can buy a Robert Sorby version, but there's a step in the middle of here so that the step shank doesn't slide all the way out. That goes in there. I set the indexing over here so that this is locked at one point so that I can then drill a hole all the way through, which is for the string, and then I can turn it through exactly half the distance to drill a hole through for the actual shaft. So that's locked. So the bigger hole is to allow the string to be fed through, and the smaller diameter hole is for the shaft, which I think was a 10mm drill with a 9.5mm diameter shaft. Of course, with enough forward planning, which I tend not to do, I could of course drill those two holes whilst it was a square blank, but the piece of wood to start with wasn't a square blank, it was a split off fragment of oak, so it would have been just as tricky to drill it on the pillar drill first as it was to do it here. Good bit of practice with a skew anyway, a quick sand and then part off at both ends. Just a little bit thinner at either end, just to keep going until you get it down to the smallest possible point that you can do, and then of course try and get your hand underneath to catch it, which I forgot to do, but never mind, it wasn't damaged. Okay, so this is the thing, and I just got to drill a hole through between those two marks. And to help it run a bit smoother, I've decided to drill a little hole by hand through the end and glue in a copper tack. Hole drilled. I might just cut a bit of cord and then just melt the end to make sure that it doesn't fray with a cigarette lighter. I also had an acorn light pull that wasn't being used, so I fed that through so I got a handle to give it a good strong tug with. Well, here goes.